Law enforcement agencies preparing for the possibility of violent protests leading up to the inauguration on the 20th.
And so right now in Salem, police are asking people to go ahead and stay away from the Capitol. Traffic will also be blocked off all around the building over the next few days. Jennifer Dowling is digging deeper tonight into how Salem police are planning to respond to any new protests that may pop up. Jennifer?
Well, they're really keeping an eye on things after seeing what happened last week nationwide at the U.S. Capitol. They are on high alert this weekend and into next week. Demonstrations this past year have been numerous and sometimes violent in Salem. Since June of 2020, the chief of police says Salem has experienced about 100 different events and protests on Capitol grounds.
The frequency, the intensity of the protests that we've seen since June are relatively new for our city. And so our approach to these protests has continued to evolve.
In the last year, there's been a growing sense that something bad could happen. It's a credit to the department that nothing, like there has been no loss of life in the city. And I don't think after last week, that feels like a guarantee.
After watching the violence at the U.S. Capitol, the chief says they will be taking any threats that come in seriously in the coming days.
Looking back over the past couple of protests, especially what happened in Washington, D.C., I think we have to take groups at their word, right? You can't ignore that. And so what's being threatened or said, we have to view that as potentially legitimate.
It was announced Wednesday that the Oregon legislature will delay its start by 2 days after leadership canceled floor sessions and committee hearings due to warnings from law enforcement about protests.
Due to ongoing events in the Capitol and safety considerations, we're not going to have a session on the 19th. It's been postponed till the 22nd.
Chief Womack says they're in constant communication with OSP and will be closely coordinating with them should anything progress.
I spoke with the superintendent OSP this morning, myself on the phone. We are in close coordination. We are assessing all of the intelligence that we have as it comes in and preparing appropriately.
As for the Portland area, Police Chief Chuck Lavelle released a statement saying at this time there are no known specific threats to Portland and we will continue to monitor the situation and adapt to prioritize public safety. He says police will remain vigilant in keeping an eye out for any criminal behavior from groups within the city. Back to you.